Most of us slow down as we age. We are similar to the conventional machines like old cars or hair dryers that run less efficiently as they get on years. But digital gadgets, particularly smartphones and computers, we expect them to operate quickly forever. There are plenty of conspiracy theories seeking to explain why our phones, tablets, and computers always slow down as they get older. In today's episode, we will look into what's happening behind the screens. Hi, welcome to Glitch, a podcast exploring tech news, how stuff works, innovation in our day-to-day technology, and the news surrounding them. I'm your host Vikram. I'm so excited that you are here. Thanks for joining with me today. Recently, a close friend of mine asked me to talk about this topic, and I thought, why not? We all have come across such issues with our gadgets, especially with our mobile phones and computers. It is a truth universally acknowledged that gadgets get older, they slow down. Your 3-year-old laptop or phone isn't going to have the same spring in its step as it did when you first unboxed it. But what are these factors that cause this inevitable sluggishness? Is it your precious device quite simply wearing out? These slowdowns aren't typically the result of one cause, but rather several contributing factors working together. Which is why the problem varies between the devices. If you remember my first episode where I spoke about the magic of reboot, I would have mentioned that there are few problems which cannot be fixed even by a system reset or reboot. These are such issues which both hardware and software can suffer, causing the gadgets to slow down. Let's dig deeper and see what happens here. The main reason why phones slow down over time is that software updates often leave older hardwares behind. Companies also update apps to take advantage of faster processing speed and more efficient architectures. So for the users of the older hardware models, it often means that the new version of the app which they loved will run slightly slower than the older version of the same app. During a software update process, the older and less efficient code can get overlooked and left behind. The cumulative effect is that your older phone or laptop is having to work harder to get the same results, as more demands get placed onto it by this new software. If the latest and greatest smartphones or laptops have better hardware capabilities, then the developers are inevitably going to take advantage of them by introducing more advanced features or by optimizing their code. That's fine if you have picked up a flagship device in the last 12 months. But gradually, older devices struggle to keep up with the code changes and eventually get left behind completely. But before you level all the blame at the software developers, let's take a reality check here. You're contributing this to yourself also. As you use phone apps and desktop applications, you add to their complexity with your user data. Your setting preferences, your saved files and so on. For example, let's take this podcasting app you're listening to. The app has been configured with your user settings and filled up with content and is going to take up more room and more system resources than it did when it was first installed. In broader terms, it means that less elbow room for your system's OS. And this is going to handle all the applications that are open and files which needs to be stored. This can lead to slower performance and eventually lead to regular crashes when the amount of space really gets restricted. The good news is that you can often take steps to improve your existing system's performance. Try frequent uninstalling of your applications and add-ons which you are no longer using. This helps in keeping free space on your gadgets as you run. Regularly clear your cache, internet browsing history, and temporary internet files. This will save a lot of space in your system. There's one more solution, though it's not the ideal solution here. It works in some cases, and it's easier in some cases too. It is just to simply perform the equivalent of your factory reset and reinstalling the operating system from scratch. This will help you in adding only the apps you actually need and add a couple of more days to your gadget. Of course, all these saves after you back up your user data, right? So I think with this, we have come to the end of today's episode. This is actually a glitch in the system. If you think back, the whole system gets laggy and we say it's all slow down just because we are the culprits adding up its data and the resource, and it starts consuming everything from your hardware. So basically this is a glitch. This is what gives us the developers to work on. This is what we do with the updates. This is what happens in the backend when you say a software update is coming up. That doesn't mean that you're not supposed to update your apps or you're not supposed to keep your softwares up to date, because the updates really save you with the security threats and everything there. I mean, the coming up episodes will teach you what are the security threats out there. Until then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for listening to Glitch. Let me meet you in next interesting episode. Until then, it's bye from Vikram.